I think pick a founder who's older than you, right? And the business has been around for coming up 20 years, right? That just right there, it's natural, right? There's going to be a time and a place where your interests, maybe you're investing, talking about a business partner, in other new ideas or areas, wanted to dial back, and that's your opportunity, right? So yeah, something that's established and profitable, got a good track record, someone who's older, and someone who you can have a conversation with in early stages around like, is there an opportunity for something like this? And then it's fronting up and having the guts, like whether it's dipping your savings or going to the bank, whatever it might be, but signing on the dotted line, putting your money in and not being fearful. What's to lose? You look at the track record of the business, it's successful, you're adding value to it, go for it.
Obviously, we've had a few failed attempts, but we're here, so we did it.
Yeah, man, it's a big day. Yeah.
Here you are, our last recording of the year.
Look at that. Yeah. I reached back out, I pushed for it.
You did.
I was keen to do it. Yeah, man. So thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Cool. So we were just talking earlier. You just said you came off the back of a 3-month executive coaching course. How was that?
Yeah. Okay. Flip me on my head, basically. Throughout everything I thought I knew before. And it's given me like a new lease on life, but also a new perspective. And as I was saying, like I think almost serendipitous that we've had these failed attempts to get here because I've been able to crystallize some, new thinking really. Drop that in today, share that today if it's helpful to people. But yeah, it was really good. So my perception going in was obviously you don't reach out and do something like that unless you're feeling a bit stuck, right? Or, stagnant. And I realized I was sort of feeling that for probably reflecting now, probably a few years, doing the grind, growing business, and teams, staff, people, like markets, but markets crap, all of that stuff. So sought some help. Felt like I'd gone probably what you know as far as I could go, and thinking, this is going to turn me into the ultimate performance professional, And God, I couldn't have been more shocked with where we started, and it was slow, which I appreciate now. At the beginning, I was thinking, well, when's it going to get to the gritty, the mana, the man's, the performance stuff. And it was really about heart. And like, I was really sort of dialing back, living in the grave for a bit, and sort of really rediscovering and talking about like who you are and what you stand for. When they first asked that question, like, what do you stand for? Like, what do you stand for? I was like, actually, I've got no idea. Right. And that's about values. And then from values, you form, thinking, behaviors, habits, right, that help you get to where you want to go. So establishing the values, like, having to be super vulnerable was, I'm a pretty open-minded person, but having to be with other people.
Confronting it.
Yeah, but with having to be vulnerable and really sort of dig deep and think about like, what you stand for and building a value chain was really hard work. So on the flip side of that, it's given me like some pretty, real rude awakenings around where I am in my life and what I'm doing and what comes next, which was scary to begin with. But then part of the teaching of the course, they build in some really great models where it helps you, sit with that and stay with that and then start to feel comfortable with that. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, much different to what I thought it was going to be in the beginning, being the ultimate business professional. It's really about
you.
Yeah.
So what are some of the key takeaways you've taken?
Oh man, values is the start one. And like I'm in recruitment, right? So, and I'm going to be super honest today. The times you hear a candidate, like high level candidates, we sort of deal in that space, leadership sort of level and, high performers. I've had, I've heard people say, hey, look, great to go through that series of interviews, big stuff. What I ultimately discovered was it wasn't aligned with my values. And if I'm really honest, I was like, oh yeah, like, what you mean you're not, what can I say this? You're not up for it? Like, oh, you couldn't handle it. Or, or what, you just didn't like the person or something sort of some micro thing. But now doing this work, what those people were deciding by was their core values because they had a really strong understanding of it. What I've come to realize is how easy it is to make a decision when you know what you stand for. So fast. so fast. It could be big, small, critical, whatever. Relationship led, business, life changing, whatever. Getting with your 4-year-old kid in the morning, right? But if you understand your values, you're able to make, just to stand on something, and you're able to quickly decide. And I think that in itself is super powerful. For life.
Yeah. So, you obviously made this decision to go on this course. So if you think back prior to that, what was your kind of mindset around wealth prior to that? Has it changed since you've been on that?
100%. Yeah, wealth was purely money.
Yeah.
So, 100%. And, I could harp on all day. I love communicating. But now it sort of probably falls into sort of 4 categories. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but for me, that feels right. One is obviously financial, definitely important. Gives you freedom, all the things we know and we hear about, right?
Yeah.
Then there's spiritual, and that can go different ways, right? Like, you don't have to believe in God or but it's about, faith in something. For me, spiritual means in regards to like people and relationships. Yeah. Physical, obviously. Yeah, I've been doing some real work on that lately. First time 4 years after my son was born. Used to be quite active. Haven't been for 4 years. It's been a shock to the system. But man, the outcomes are huge. And then mental, which we've just been talking about. And I think, as the coach would say, progress over perfection. And it actually was a guest star nutritionist. Now, Yasmin, I should plug it here, but I can't remember that. Oh, that's your competitor. No, ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what she said. And, that's so important, because what it means is you're not, if I talk about physical, and parenting, if I'm honest, I'm a bit vain, and you're always like trying to get in shape or drop weight or do something for this event that was a little while away, or that speaks to my vanity, right? The big friend's wedding, haven't seen everyone for a while. All those sorts of things, right? Scrap all that. Think big. Think life. Like, reflect back from when you're 90. Yeah, you want to be able to move, right? That's it. As simple as that, and go. And what that does is it takes the pressure out of going like, and it helps with the discipline. You're not focused on the short-term goal, and you're focused on like just holistic living. So, and you can start every day fresh, right? You can have a not so great day. But you can start every day fresh, and you can decide to get back on track. But if you don't have this short-term goal in mind, it's so much easier. Yeah. So those are the four things that I'm now doing, now living by.
It's a habit.
Yeah, as habits, and the best I can in the depth.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, you mentioned earlier that you've got a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And obviously that makes time available for you to be able to focus on yourself a little bit more challenging. So what are the things that you are actually implementing in your day-to-day life to help you live your
There's always a cost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Either way. So he's the light of my life. He's the only one we haven't.
One and done.
One and done. He's amazing. Like, best friendship I've ever had. Like, I love him. Yeah. His name Max. He's sensational. A bit emotional, actually. But how do you make the time? So, operating system.
Okay.
Right? And I've redefined that recently. And that's about giving yourself the space to think about like how you can make it all work. And so I can give a small tactic, like, to explain, right? So the cost to investing in myself and putting myself on this course, right?
Yes.
And really making it work. Not for myself, but also because there was a big financial commitment, right?
Yeah.
Is that the cost is I'm going to have less time with my family and my son, right? And it's just there being one of them, just the one, it's all about him, because it just literally is, right? And that's just natural. So small operating system is now on a Sunday, like it sounds so basic. I prepare everything for the week.
Yeah.
That only takes 2.5 hours, right? You can do that with a glass of wine or like a protein shake. But, and then get everything done. I'm talking like, everything sorted for the week, right? To 100% sorted. So what that means is I still get up at the same time. I dedicate 30 minutes of pure playtime in the morning,
Awesome.
right?
Yeah.
And yet the flip in behavior and how it streamlines the morning
Yeah.
is I'm talking about undivided attention for 30 minutes on the floor, cars, dinosaurs, whatever, drawing,
Yeah.
and could be a kid again, right?
Yeah.
And then it's, hey man, how about we go and make breakfast and get on with it? It's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Most days. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. So that's, it's about like, it's plenty of time. I should quote it. The quote, I was quoting it all the time. Hours in a week. What is that?
Admo's it. He always quote, there's hours in the back. There's a bunch. 86,400 seconds.
Yeah, something like that, right? And so when you think about it like that, it's just about like shifting things around and moving things around. There's always plenty of time. Same with adding exercise in. How am I going to do it? That's what I was like. Oh, how am I going to do the coaching course, be a dad, run a business, do all these things, be a good business partner, all of those things. But yeah, it's actually easily done. And sometimes you got to sacrifice a few things. But the key is not sacrificing those core things that passion your values, right? Yeah, right. And also those 4 pillars, right? Because they're the things that give you the energy, I guess, and passion to be able to go forward. Yeah.
So, with what you've learned recently, if you think back to, you founded a design company, is that correct? Long time ago. What you know now, with old head on young shoulders, what would you do differently?
That wasn't that great. It could have been. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it's going to sound so stupid, but literally at the time, I don't know when that was, 2020, 2009 or 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I thought, because new business and relationships has always been, my thing,
Yeah.
professionally. And I thought running a business was going to be easy because I could just bring the work in. I can manage the relationships, short-sighted, right? I said to at that time, I think brother-in-law to be, a long time ago, I said, it's easy. I swear, no. This is fucking easy. 3 weeks in, man, I pulled over a few clients from previous, and bang, 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 it's all go, right? Yeah, feeling great. But how short-sighted. And probably at that stage, I didn't have a strong understanding of values, like, at all. And probably really selfish, actually, like, as a person. It was like all about me. And actually, a lot of things in my life at that stage didn't go well. I crumbled and burned. The business is still around today. Like, I moved out because on reflection, I wasn't actually able to be. I had a business partner. We worked together previously. Went out together. That was the idea. Started with a hiss and a roar. I wasn't ready. I wasn't able to be available. Like, mentally, emotionally. In the right to be back to seas. She still runs it today, and which is fantastic and successful, and we're still connected. But yeah, man, nah, it was definitely. I would say it was a fail. From my part.
But is it the whole saying, it's, you were saying earlier, it's never a fail, it's a learning?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what were some of your learnings that you took with you onto your next one?
I thought at that stage that the definition of an entrepreneur really was like you had to be a serial entrepreneur, and that you had to be grow this massive business, exit it, make squillions, then you're investing in others, and you're starting a new company every second week, right? I thought that was, that, in my opinion, so I thought, I came out of it going, I'm not entrepreneurial. Yeah. How sad's that? Yeah, it's right? Completely. Yeah, shut down. So I wasn't able to understand that. So then for a long time, I just went and worked in businesses for other people, out of fear, really. A fear of stepping out and giving it another go in whatever shape form that look like? What I've come to learn about an entrepreneurial mindset or spirit is that it comes in many shapes and forms. It can be, the definition is actually like just having a business, right? It could be one business forever. It could be multiple. It could be whatever you want. But it's really a spirit and a mindset, right? As well as having stake in something, right? That's yours. So, what I've really learned, and probably a message today, is I don't know if people are feeling like that, right? They've given something a go and it hasn't worked, right? There's different shapes and forms all along the way. What I realized about my strengths, which are, like communication, like activating, maximizing something that's kind of already in place. I don't have to be inventor, but I can maximize something, right? And so my message is find a business, right? And New Zealand's full of small businesses, like trying to grow, right? More than ever. If you're feeling that way, it's like having skin in the game is the best, right? Because you're rewarded for your work. It can be something that's been set up that needs you and your strengths, whatever they may be, to go to the next level. Identify a business that's got good history. It could be new, whatever. If it's an existing business, for example, and do your due diligence, work in that business and get a really good understanding for it, and then get in it, skin in the game. Have that conversation up front that people are, I guess, open to that.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with the recruiting company.
Okay.
So 5 years in it.
Yeah.
And then went, this is the humming business. I'm adding value. Now, before I add too much more value, set the reins off a little bit for a year. No, just kidding. Buy-in, value buy-in, and then reap the rewards. So that's the message really. Because don't be afraid. Anything comes so many different shapes and sizes. Yeah.
So what was the process that you had to go through to get skin in the game within the company that you're now?
The process. Well, it was good. So I think pick a founder who's older than you, right? Yep. I think, and who in this instance, the business has been around for coming up 20 years, right? And that right there is it's natural, right? There's going to be a time and a place where your interests and maybe you're investing, talking about a business partner, and other new ideas or areas wanted to dial back, and that's your opportunity, right? So something that's established and profitable, it's got a good track record, someone who's older, and someone who you can have a conversation with in early stages around, like, is there an opportunity for something like this? But honing in on that, making sure that's genuine, and then it's fronting up and having the guts, like whether it's dipping your savings or going to the bank or whatever it might be, but signing on the dotted line and putting your money in and not being fearful. What's to lose? You look at the track record of the business; it's successful. You're adding value to it. Go for it.
It's there's such a different outcome percentage in that versus trying to start something from 0 to 1, again, then getting to 1. Okay, it's a completely different. The success rate's dramatically different, and the multiples are different. Even like the kind of relative cost to get in, and the cost of getting something from a 0 to a 1 is just, it's so hard. Whereas if you've got a business, and because I'm when you were saying it, I'm thinking of 5 or 6 people just in my immediate network that you've done that. Herbal Ignite, Herbal Ignite? My friend bought into that business, transformed it, got them online, and took it to exit.
Right.
Ace,
Yes.
she joined an access company, worked for them, but wanted to try create a training company. She's now in 2 years. They started this training company with a connected brand as the subsidiary, with the owner, Visa 50. They put in exactly the same amount of cash, etc. Everything was all the same, and ownership was the same. And she leaned on, obviously, the infrastructure that was there.
Here we go, Dame.
And the amount of that business got to profitability in its first year.
There you go, right?
In a meaningful life.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're leaning on that infrastructure and that older person that has already done the hard work getting it from 0 to 1. You're taking it from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
It's a completely like,
Mm.
and like we were mentioning, I was mentioning that earlier to Lloyd, was the multiples on SMEs that are established are actually really low, especially if there's no succession plan.
That's right. Absolutely. I've just learned more about this recently too. Like, there's, it's not just about profitability, right? Of course, there's other things like, um, value of the clients, are there service agreements in place, all these sorts of things. But there's sort of nine key pillars for, determining, the multiple, right? And, I thought, it's probably in my ignorance to a certain degree, I literally learned this in the last week by having a chat with just someone new I connected with, right? And, multiple profitability is like, which is great. And it probably sets you at maybe 2 or 3, right? Click those other 3 areas: operating systems, clients, all of, keep going,
6 or 12.
yeah,
Something else.
like that. And that's pretty interesting, right? So going back to that first business, no idea, winning new business. That was that. That was it. Have that 0 multiplier.
But you obviously got a lot out of that. I know the outcome was not what you had wanted it to be going into it, but you learnt a lot.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. But I'm just pretty interesting. We all want, probably think it'd be great to go back in time, or what would your older self tell you? All those sort of things. And I'd be lying if I didn't think sometimes, man, I wish I did that when I was 20 or whatever. But I think it's never. I think the investment in space, and only in space of your mind and thinking, is so important. Like, that's what gives you the ability to affect, and then seeking elite from. Yeah, elite from. Yeah, that's right.
As you get those non-linear jumps.
Yeah, man. You only know what you know, and that's cool, right? That's cool. You then got to put yourself in the right places, connect with the right people, and you might connect with some people, and you go, like, you think, I can learn a lot from them. Might turn out you might not, but it's having the ability to be having that open-mindedness, which is one of the values I've established. And like I said before, it's not about the way you live your life, like personally, like that's open-minded to all that, but it's actually being open-minded to opportunity, right? Learning, growing, different ways of thinking, and then when you're in that zone, that flow state, that's when it comes. And how many opportunities do you get in a lifetime? If you're closed-minded, you probably, you might feel like there's none, right? But if you are open-minded and you're in that flow state, like, they're coming at you all the time in different shapes and sizes. And then I think it's having that values, right? Strong understanding of like what you stand for and what's important to you. That'll help you decide which opportunities are right. Yeah, that's what I believe.
So with what you've learned in the last 3 months, how are you going to take what you've learned from that and implement it in what you're currently doing?
I got this 43-page accountability to be courtesy of my amazing coach, Tony Martin. Yeah, as part of the To Be Limitless group, and test it. Amazing. So it's that.
Yeah.
And it's accountability at the end of the day, right? And so quite clearly, it's a small cohort of up to about 10, a nice intimate number. There's group sharing all the time, but then you're partnered up with someone quite strategically partnered up with someone who is some sort of synergy or likeness to where you're at in perhaps life and stage. So that their learning is it's equal, right, for each other, and it's about we stay connected to that person for all of 2025 and forever if you choose to, yeah. So it's that. The other thing is giving yourself that space. So I have dedicated Friday afternoons for all of 2025. I'm starting there from 12:30 till 3:30 in the afternoon. We have slightly different hours in our office. The team will leave at Friday on 12:30.
Yep.
Out the door. It's me sitting there. And I'm dedicating 3 hours every Friday to, one, reviewing my accountability document, right, in that instance, but then actually just giving myself, because it's always changing. It's wet paint, right? And then looking at giving myself that space to look at maybe some new opportunities that are coming in, or whether it's related to the business or life or whatever it might be. and just really giving myself that space to sort of digest it and think about it and understand it. Yeah, so those are the things that I'm putting in place.
Cool.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting it'd be cool to actually interview in like a year's time. See where you're at and what you put into place and how because I think it's,
Can't get hold of me.
yeah, when we're, that it's like, you'll go from like here to here, but do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just going to magnify, I suppose, your journey.
Yeah.
So that would be cool to see.
Yeah. I think the thing that it's the coolest thing that's come out of that is, fun.
Mm.
Really enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
I've always been like that. I've always like, regardless of, say that, I sleep really well. I really do. I wake in the morning, I'm ready to go. Yeah. Right. Even more so now that I've got the nutrition and, it's like, how much protein do you have to eat? I'm from now. Like, see, I need different protein. It's ridiculous. So, but, having fun, enjoying the ride, and that's the best part. I feel like I'm having more fun doing what I'm great at and what I've always done than even before. Yeah. So that's the 180 I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. So, you've got a son next.
Yep.
He's large.
Yeah, but you think just had, but can't.
Yeah. So what kind of wealth do you pass on to him? It's not necessarily financial.
Yeah, so that's all sorted actually, like, in a great way, which is fantastic. My partner is really into financial literacy, like in a big way. Like we are as a family, but in a big way. Probably in the last couple of years has really done in a bit of investing, and so Max is set up. He's investing. Yeah, he's got KiwiSaver. He's got this. He's got that, and did the calculation on the other day. And by the time he's 18, or we have nice invest $700 or $800,
It sounds pretty amazing.
which is pretty cool. He can't touch it till he's at least 45.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's we've talked about this before in terms of you can give your kids all the financial opportunities in the world, but if you overdo it, are you actually it's almost stealing something off them in terms of their opportunities and the possibility for them to do it for themselves.
It's a big thing, right? Yeah. Like I've got lots of clients, and lots of people in my life that people, if you put the uber wealthy, right, has done really, really well, and some and her kids, and some do it really, really well, and some don't. You know what I mean? But you can't tell people that. That's their own.
And you never know how the individual or your kid how they will interpret it, react.
That's right.
It's actually random. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves as parents.
Yeah.
To do the right thing.
Yes.
And I get that because I do feel like I'm not doing the right thing all the time.
Yep.
But you're not guaranteed the response you want.
No.
Or the response you have in your head.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a nuanced topic.
Have you interviewed that Mitch? I'm here.
No, not yet.
Oh, you should. You should. He told me a great story about his son. About guiding through life, and about the patience he showed to it. Like his strategy was a 2 or 3 year strategy. I was like, whoa! I was like, that is next level. Yeah, to guiding him on the right direction. And man, strategic. Like he was influencing friends. To go along to elevate through life. And then his son turned around. I'm not sharing that. Turned around and goes, "How come? Hang on, how come they do it? I want to be part of that. Like talk about strategic, highly. So I took a learning from that. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can't guarantee the response.
There's like my son really likes really crude jokes.
Is that just a boy?
Elvis.
10.
Yeah, color.
So and he's like, look what I made at school. And it's like this, I don't know what he'd done with it. It was like a puppet thing that had been filled and then sewn up, and then he'd put a penis on it.
Yeah.
It's a boy.
It's like, it's got a penis. It's like, that's right, Jesse, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to put the girls down. Can you go to your own room and get that?
Yeah.
And then
Pass away.
yeah. And then I was on the stairs waiting for my girls to go to sleep because they are like to mess around at night. And then he like shouts a inappropriate joke. And I didn't react well to it, obviously. And
You mean you laughed?
no,
You wake up.
I went the other way. Then I'm like, oh, you know what? You're just trying to be funny.
Yep. Yeah.
And create a light-hearted environment.
But it's cool, right?
Yeah. And I'm like shutting you down.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, damn it.
It's so, like you say, parenting is challenging, right? Like, I need you to go to sleep. You're having a moment where you want to make everybody laugh, and that's great. But I still need everybody to go to sleep so that I can make everything else like 2.5 hours on a Sunday work. So you've got these balls that you're juggling, and you're just doing the best you can at home.
You know what? On that, one thing I left out of that sort of operating system is layered into this work and this course. At about week 4 or 5, they introduced it's an app. Shazad, can't remember his last name. Shazad Carmine. It's called PQ, positive intelligence, right? Centered around mindfulness, right? And I've been doing it religiously. It tracks it. So and your coaches want. So you got to do it, but you also got to be you got to give it a crack, right? And man, like I've never done anything like that in my life before, and game changer for parenting, for relationships, for work, for progression, for space for thinking. I do it, and the app's got a 2-minute, a 5-minute, and a 12-minute. Before you have a big meeting, a big pitch, whatever it might be, in the car, boom, 2 minutes, And it's about like just bringing yourself back down to a baseline. Yeah, the centered state, man. And I know you're into jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah. It's a psych to get into it because without,
Yeah.
So I'm forced because otherwise someone's going to strangle me.
Yeah, that's right. So, same with kids. You're going to get steamrolled, right? If you're not, and then that export a whole new approach to, to parenting and incarnates, And I made this rule, like, at the start, I'm a big communicator, like, and I love to share about things that I'm going through. So thanks for having me on here, man. I've been busting at the seams because one of the rules I made myself, knowing myself, was that I wasn't going to go preaching on it. Yeah, I was going to do it, and I wanted it to show up, and I wanted to hear it or have it recognized by others. And, and it has been my partner, Bridie, and that's testament, right? That's when it's genuinely about, it's not just lip service. It's not just talking about it. It's showing up and doing the work and letting it come through. Yeah. And then it being received by people and having them note that to you. And then there's no better feeling than that, right? That gives you the strength and the courage to keep going. And that's the authenticity. That's just so important, right? Yeah.
Totally agree.
So last question. What do you see the last 10 years of your life looking like?
Yeah. Well, that's big. Part of this work we've been doing, I focused on 5 years. So hang on. I was like, fast boys. So, the last 10 years, yeah. So let's draw a line in the sand and say that I reached the ripe old age of 90. Yeah, 80 to 90. Yeah. Okay, now, this is where it's at. Right? Rich life experiences.
Oh, I love it.
Okay? I'm talking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on the record. Yeah. I want to still be with my beautiful partner. Yes. Right? I want to have a loving, intimate, like romantic relationship. Yeah. My son, I want to have a deep, friendship based on trust and love. I want relationships with my family to be the same, and I want to use my gift to elevate, excite, and help people, right? And that's the gift of connecting, like not just recruitment, but bigger than that, as bringing people together for positive outcomes, mutually. Yes. That's it. That's where I want to be. That's awesome. Oh, that's
You might have won the best.
Yeah, that is the best answer we've had to date.
Oh, cool. My belly is winning. You're right. I won this one. But winning, right? It's not just you winning. It's about if everybody, and the interactions you had, people coming away, not cheating somebody out of something and tricking somebody, genuinely walking away going, shit, that's great. Yeah. That's great for everybody. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for making it happen.
Yeah, man. Nice to be here, guys. Really appreciate the opportunity and look forward to being back here same time. Yeah. 2020, 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Cool. Thanks.